You're live.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the June 8th, 2020 meeting of the Albany County Legislature. My name is Andrew Joyce, and I serve as chair of the Albany County Legislature. Whether you're watching this meeting via our YouTube stream or listening to it via telephone, you can tell we are not in our normal chamber. Myself, the clerk, and our council is here at the Harold L. Joyce Albany County Office Building. As the world moves forward in response to the COVID pandemic, we too have had to adapt. Our rules allow for a period of public comment before our meetings. That will stay the same going forward. However, in the interest of public health and in accordance with the guidance provided by the governor, our own county executive and the commissioner of health, we are managing the public forum virtually. Registration was open last week and we have one speaker registered for tonight. And if you don't know who that person is, I guess you haven't been paying attention, but we're glad to have her here. As always, any member of the public wishing to address our body may do so via electronic or regular mail, as well as via telephone to our clerk. This meeting is being live streamed on our website and recorded for future reference. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Veston.
Here.
Brewski.
Brisky's here.
Bergdorf. Bergdorf. I know he's here.
He's here somewhere.
Chapman.
You muted me. You muted me.
Oh,
I'm here.
Bergdorf.
Here.
Chapman.
Here.
Clay. Clay.
He's there twice.
I know he's
Went to the bathroom.
Clary.
No,
Here.
I said here.
Misso. Clay.
Here.
Cunningham. Demolowitz. Gary.
Hey, Nicole,
Great.
they muted everyone in the beginning, and a lot of them have not unmuted themselves. That's why you're not hearing from them.
Yeah, a lot of them are muted.
You gotta manually unmute yourself.
Touch the screen. Look for the little
I got it.
microphone icon
Red phone.
Vote for
and
Gary.
then push it.
There's way too many people talking at one time.
Cunningham.
A great one.
Demolowitz.
Here,
Drake.
Here.
Efacoro. Efacoro.
He's here.
Yeah.
Ethier. Beanie.
Here.
Fine. Grimm.
Here.
Andrew. Joyce.
Here.
Ray Joyce.
Here.
Boone.
Here,
Langdon.
Here.
Lakakis.
Here.
Lockhart.
Here.
Muriello.
Here.
Mayo. Mayo. McLaughlin.
Here.
McLean Lane.
Here.
Miller.
Here.
O'Brien.
Here.
Hurley.
Here.
Peter.
Here.
Plosky.
Here.
Reedy. Reedy. Reinhardt.
Here.
Ricard.
Here.
Simpson.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Tunney.
Here.
Ward.
here,
Whalen.
Here.
Willingham.
Here.
Is Cunningham? Is the Reedy pop in?
Nope.
I have 36 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Clerk, please identify the first speaker.
Carol Waterman.
Cheryl, the floor is yours.
Great. Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Oh, good. Okay. I was hoping to be able to stay. It was really good to see you all, even if you were little squares on a grid. But about an hour ago, my surge protector let off a really, really loud alarm, shut down my computer. And if any of you know how to fix that, Pat has my phone number. Now, actually, I wanted to talk today about Resolution 205, which is the one authorizing Shaker Place to consider out-of-county applicants for nurses. I support it, of course, because we need all the nurses we can get. I'm also glad, though, that the resolution has a sunset clause. Now, in the meanwhile, before it sunsets, I'm hoping we all do a lot of thinking about why we're not getting enough applicants from our county and what we can do about it. And the obvious first thing are the salaries. And I've spoken twice already about the salaries of nurses. And the most recent time was when the budget was being voted on. And, I had actually read the whole thing line by line. And among the things I spoke about was the outrageously low salary for the nurses. They save lives. And of course, there are gender issues in this because a huge percentage of the nurses are women. Now, in addition to the salaries, another risk factor is, of course, the heightened risk that they will experience at nursing homes. And I don't just mean ours, I mean, it's in general. And there they are, risking their lives to save ours. And any one of us or somebody we love could be one that they save. Since I'm older than most, what?
One more minute.
Oh, okay. I hope you'll remember this in the next contract negotiations, that I will be here to remind you. Now, nurses, doctors, and other healthcare professionals have been taking knees all over the country, including, by the way, Albany and Troy. And they know, they've said so, they know they are risking their lives doing that in terms of COVID-19. And in interviews with nurses, what they have said is marching is an essential job. And they also said Black Lives Matter is a public health issue. Now, you probably all know what the mayor of Washington, D.C. did about a street sign and also a plaza outside of the White House. And these are things that we could do here, and it would cost very, very little to do. I understand all the people who have told me, no, Carol, that should be the city of Albany to do the street signs, but we should certainly think about painting one of the county roads. My two favorites are. What?
It's time, Carol, if you want to finish your thought.
Oh, sure. My two favorites would be Albany Shaker Road and Fuller Road, both county roads, and both of which, when things really open up, get so much traffic that people will be able to just sit there and read what's painted on there. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the day that I can see all of you in person, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Carol, and thank you for your continued interest and passion towards what we do here. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Thanks.
Have a good night and be safe.
Oh, thanks. You too.
Clerk, do we have any written communication, any email that we need to read?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. Since we have no other speakers and no other written communication we need to read, the public forum is now closed. To call our meeting to order for June, I'd like Mr. Bill Ricard to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
Flag, United States of America,
and
and to the
republic for which it stands,
under God,
one
indivisible, liberty,
one
justice.
nation, under God,
God,
with liberty and
indivisible.
justice for all.
With liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Mr. Ricard. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Justin,
Here.
Brusky,
Here.
Bergdorf,
Here.
Patman,
Here.
Clay,
Here.
Clary,
Here.
Camisso,
Here.
Cunningham, Malowitz,
Here.
Drake,
Here.
Fakoro,
Here.
Ethier,
Here.
Feeney,
Here.
Fine, Grimm,
Here.
Andrew Joyce,
Here.
Ray Joyce,
Here.
Boone,
Here.
Langdon,
Here.
Lakakis,
Here.
Lockhart,
Here.
Muriello,
Here.
Mayo, Mayo, Lachlan,
Here.
McLean Lane,
Here.
Miller.
I'm here, sorry.
Here.
Got you, Dave.
Okay, thanks. I didn't know it was muted.
O'Brien,
Here.
Early,
Here.
Peter,
Here.
Plosky,
Here.
Reedy, Reedy, Reinhardt,
Here.
Ricard,
Here.
Simpson,
Here.
Smith,
Here.
Honey,
Yeah. Here.
Ward,
Here.
Allen,
Here.
Willingham,
Here.
36 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Clerk, please read the first item under previous business.
Public hearing on proposed local law number C 2020.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Hearing none, 125 passes unanimously. For 194, please.
A resolution amending Resolution 283 for 1992 as subsequently amended to restore the committee to fill vacancies in response to the COVID-19 related health emergency and uncertainty in the budgetary realities caused by the current global pandemic.
Okay, we uncovered a slight technical issue with 283, the amendment. So I'm going to send this back to law to get that sorted out. We'll get moving on this next month. So please refer that to law committee. Clerk, first item under current business, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Cullingham Industries regarding design and construction services for the County Route 303 and County Route 311 Highway Improvement Project.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
95
Aye.
passes unanimous. For 196, please.
Authorizing a master agreement with National Grid regarding energy conservation and management services
Right.
for the Water Purification District.
All those in favor?
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Clay?
no, it's Ray.
I thought I heard Clay. I'm sorry.
No, it's Ray Joyce. Please note my abstention.
Got it. Any opposed? Hearing none, 196 passes with one abstention. 197, please.
authorizing the renewal of an agreement with Schenectady County during the provision of preschool evaluation services.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, 197 passes unanimous. For 198, please.
Authorizing agreements between the County of Albany and various public school districts regarding administrative expenses relating to the special education itinerant teacher program.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, 198 passes unanimous. 199, please.
Authorizing preschool education service agreements for children with special needs ages 3 to 5.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, 199 passes unanimous. 200, please.
Authorizing the renewal of an agreement with Spotted Zebra Learning Center regarding individualized education programs for children ages 3 to 5.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 200 passes unanimous. For 201, please.
Authorizing agreements regarding the Healthy Families Home Visiting Program.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 201 passes unanimous. 202, please.
Authorizing an agreement with the New York State Office for the Aging regarding Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act funding.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 202 passes unanimous. Or 203, please.
Public hearing on proposed modifications to agricultural district numbers 1, 2, and 3.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 203 passes unanimous. Or 204, please.
Amending resolution number 279 for 2000 regarding the modification to the fee structure for participation in civil service examinations and waiving fees for veterans taking open, competitive, or promotion exams.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 204 passes unanimous. 205, please.
Authorizing Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Center to consider out-of-county applicants for the positions of registered nurse, licensed practical nurse, and certified nursing assistant.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, 205 passes unanimous. 206, please.
Amending resolution number 35 for 2020 regarding the Albany County Stop DWI plan.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No, my
abstention, please.
Did I hear someone say something?
Just my abstention, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
Oh, that's right, Ms. Platsky, we got that.
Great, thank you.
Any opposed? Or 206 passes with one abstention. For 207, please.
Authorizing an agreement with New York State Office of Addiction Services and Support regarding medical assisted treatment services at the Albany County Correctional Facility and amending the 2020 Albany County budget.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, 207 passes unanimous. 208, please.
Amending resolution number 284 for 2019, regarding the purchase of furniture for the Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Nursing Center.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 208 passes unanimous. For 209, please.
Authorizing an agreement with Guardian Consulting Services regarding pharmacy consultant services at the Shaker Place Rehabilitation and Nursing Center.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 209 passes, unanimous. For 210, please.
Authorizing a license agreement with the Albany County Airport Authority and the Federal Aviation Administration regarding removal of problematic vegetation.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, 210 passes unanimous. For 211, please.
Authorizing the submission of a grant application to the State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services regarding the state Homeland Security and law enforcement terrorism prevention programs.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
I'd like to know my abstention. 211 passes with one abstention. Number 212, please.
Authorizing the refund of real property taxes in the town of Guilderland.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 212 passes, unanimous. For 213, please.
Authorizing a correction to the tax roll for the town of New Scotland.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none, 213 passes unanimous. Now, for 214, I wanted to note that there was a modification to the language of this resolution. The corrected language was sent to your iPads and put on the website this afternoon. Clerk, please read 214.
Authorizing the approval of a court order settlement stipulation regarding real property taxes.
All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? 214 passes, unanimous. For 215, please.
Public hearing on proposed local law number D for 2020.
Please send that to Public Works and Audit and Finance. For 216, please.
Authorizing a one-time amnesty period for reduction of interest charged on delinquent property taxes.
Please send that to Audit and Finance. Number 217, please.
Appointment of a member to the Albany County Capital Resource Corporation.
Mr. Brewski, is there anything you'd like to say?
As a small business owner here locally, I've certainly cared a lot about trying to increase possibilities here in our county. I believe I have the training to do well on the CRC. I've had the pleasure to connect with our current members serving on there, and I really hope that I can do you all proud on this board.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Absolutely.
Opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations, Mr. Brewski.
Thank you very much.
Local Law D.
Law number D for 2020, a local law of the County of Albany, New York, amending local law 3 for 2010 and authorizing the county executive to negotiate a lease agreement of property owned by Albany County with the Shaker Heritage Society not to exceed 50 years, subject to the approval of the Albany County Legislature.
We're going to send that to Public Works and Audit and Finance. Okay, that concludes our published agenda for this evening, but I have to give the floor to Mr. Feeney for the proposed Rule 11 motion.
Yes, I make a motion for a Rule 11 resolution to be introduced tonight.
Okay, I'd like to second that. We accept the Rule 11. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, clerk, please read Resolution 218.
Appointment of the Majority Council of the Legislature.
Mr. Brewski, I believe you had some comments to make.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I rise today to speak to you all, to thank you for one, using Rule our rule to consider for the position of majority counsel Mrs. Kennedy to this role. I've had the chance to get to know Mrs. Kennedy as a constituent in my district, and I believe that she's extremely well qualified to serve us in this new role. She graduated from our law school here and then worked as a court attorney and then in private practice before serving as an attorney for the town of Colony. In 2012, she was awarded the Outstanding New Lawyer Award by the Capital District Female Bar Association. And in 2016, she was elected president of that same group. Over her 10 years of service as first the assistant town attorney and then the senior town attorney, she has by all accounts done a fantastic job here in Colony and earned a reputation as a bright, kind, patient, and approachable civil servant. And I actually had the chance to speak with Supervisor Paula Mahan and members of the town board today. I know that she is very much going to be missed in that role. Kennedy's work has also given her a real wealth of expertise on local laws, contracts, land use issues that she will all bring to this job. And I personally very much look forward to seeking out her counsel as chair of the Public Works Committee. And I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to put her into this role now, given all that is happening in our world today. And if confirmed, Mrs. Kennedy would also become the very first female to serve as the majority counsel for our legislature, which I believe would add certainly very important diversity in our process and be a great step forward for this body. So I look forward to working with Mrs. Kennedy in our conference, and I hope that together we can help better the lives of all who call our county home.
Thank you, Mr. Brisky.
Mr. Chairman,
Who's speaking?
Mark Grimm, Legislator Grimm.
Mr. Graham, go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't received any background on this nominee. Was there a reason why a resume or something wasn't circulated?
I don't believe the minority caucus votes on this one. Is that correct?
Yeah, one thing.
You just were muted. Can you say that again, Chairman?
You asked if you had received background information?
Yeah.
Have you or have you not?
I have not.
I can't speak to that, why you would or would not get background info.
Can they send that to me, please, as soon as they can?
Yes.
This is majority council, not minority council.
Take one off.
This is for the majority, Mark.
Does the minority vote?
Hey, just so we're clear, they do vote on this appointment. The entire body does.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
If you didn't get the resume, we'll get that to you, Mr. Graham.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Are there any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, this is
Yes.
Allison McLean Lane. May I please say a few words about Ms. Kennedy?
Please.
I had the pleasure of working with Ms. Kennedy at the town of Colony for several years. Ms. Kennedy, I can tell you with all of my knowledge about her abilities, her ethic, which was stellar. I don't think I've ever seen an attorney that was there late every night. She not only has municipal litigation experience, but in addition, town experience with non-litigation in ensuring the town of Colony's preparedness for all kinds of issues such as code enforcement, et cetera. Her breadth of experience is significant. And what is also particularly of note of Ms. Kennedy is that she is one of the most honest, approachable, and thoughtful people I had the pleasure of working with at the town of Colony. I had thought of her several years ago as being somebody who would be a wonderful opportunity to be a majority council. Of course, I thought Kevin Canizero was excellent. And I can also say this, I could not be more pleased with the addition of our new clerk to the legislature, who is a woman. And in my knowledge, there has never been a woman in that role, to my knowledge. And the same with majority council. And I think it speaks volumes. And I think if everyone has an opportunity to meet Ms. Kennedy, I think they will see the same things that I see in her. She's no nonsense, and she's smart as a whip. So, and I echo the same words that my colleague, Mr. Bruschi, said, and that also the trust that the majority leader, Mr. Feeney, has in her. So thank you for the opportunity to speak, Mr. Chairman.
Of course. Ms. McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just do want to say that I look forward to meeting Ms. Kennedy. As a new legislator, I had really, in a few short months, developed a good working relationship with Mr. Canizero, and I always found him very helpful. I'll be able to develop that same relationship. And I also say I did request when we got this resolution, her resume, and is that quickly that resume was received by the members of the legislature. And I do see she has a very impressive background, one that I think and I hope will be very useful to all of us. So I look forward to meeting her. Is she with us this evening?
I don't believe so.
I look forward to meeting her either via Zoom or some. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. McLaughlin. Are there any other comments, questions? All those in favor of resolution 218?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Chairman, before we adjourn, I have a question.
Well, we haven't had the vote yet, Paul.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
All
thought
those
we did.
opposed? Hearing none, it's unanimous. Congratulations, Ms. Kent. Welcome to the fun. Mr. Bergdorf.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
how are we anticipating conducting our meetings in July?
That's a good question, Mr. Bergdorf. As you know, this COVID situation is a day-to-day, week-to-week evolving situation. We're going to take our guidance from the CDC, the governor's office, county exec's office. As you know, right now, gatherings of up to 10 or more socially distanced are authorized. So that adds a layer of complication in terms of who we have in the chamber and who we don't. It's tough to anticipate who will show up for a public hearing. And our main priority is doing these in a safe and orderly manner. So I wish I had a better answer for you. My hope is that we continue to flatten the curve and make a good progress against defeating the COVID. And we can do a hybrid type meeting where we can have members in chambers and have people safely congregated outside to have in. But that's my hope. But at this point, we can't really say with definitive clarity or expertise on what we're going to do.
Thank you. Thank you for your candor, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, I will be consulting with leadership, and we don't want people to feel beholden or like they have to be here, because we understand that some folks are at risk and some aren't, and we aren't out of the woods yet till we have a vaccine. So we all just need to be careful. To that end, we do have a large amount of hand sanitizer left here in the office in gallons. So if there's any organizations or restaurants or anything in your district that may need it for refills, just please reach out to the staff here and they'll get that to you.
Thank you.
So that's it for tonight's agenda, everyone. Before I accept the motion to adjourn, I want to thank each of you for participating tonight and the staff operating in the background to make this all look very easy. Mr. F. Ficoro.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Before we adjourn, I rise, Mr. Chairman, today in light of the protests that we are witnessing across the nation and in our county. And I want to thank every young person out there today protesting and standing up to demand change. The change we need in our county is a change indeed, and is a change that we all can believe in. And Mr. Chairman, I strongly condemn the actions of those evil people who try to discredit these movements by looting and vandalizing the already underserved communities that these protests are being held in. Mr. Chairman, the movement will continue because Black lives do matter. And I know Black lives matter because I matter. My tax money is used to pay for law enforcement officers, police officers in Albany County and in the state, and they too have to respect the fact that my life matter. I also want to thank the members of the Albany Common Council and the Mayor Kadeshian for issuing executive order today banning the use of chokeholds and neck holds in Albany County. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Ficoro, for saying what needed to be said. And Black lives do matter. And I deeply appreciate your words and your perspective on what's been going on. And it's just been incredible.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, would it be okay if I just said something very quickly?
Sure.
I wanted to say, I echo my colleagues' words that were just so eloquent and important and really just make a significant difference in the lives of so many. And I also wanted to thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I wanted to thank the clerk of the legislature. I have hand out I have actually sat in the parking lots of numerous businesses on the eastern side of my district, which is a predominantly low-income area, with masks, with hand sanitizer. I received gloves from you. I'd even bought more gloves. And I wanted you to know that I have handed out every single package. And I have had people cry when I gave them to them because they could not go into the store otherwise, and they couldn't afford them. I have had people, one woman who was disabled and all she could do, she has to use an electric wheelchair and travel with her son. And all she had was one disposable single-use mask. And I have been able to hand them out at all of these businesses, whether it be the mobile station, the Family Dollar, the Dollar Tree, Storts, you name it. It has helped a lot of people. And I want to thank our clerk for taking her time on a Saturday and Sunday and delivering them to my home. And I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for making sure that we receive these items, because I think they made a significant difference in my constituents' health and safety. So much appreciated. And I just wanted that to be recognized.
Thank you. And thank you for all you do and getting it out there. And if you need more, let us know. And we did, the sheriff was good enough to provide that to us. So the more you get it out, the more you need, please let us know.
Mr. Chairman?
We have one, Ms. McLaughlin, and we'll get to you, Mr. Fine, okay? Ms. McLaughlin.
Yes, sir. Thank you again. I just want to echo what my colleague, Mr. Ficoro, shared. And thank you for giving him the opportunity to express so eloquently how we feel regarding what's going on around our country and right in our Albany County today. And I think that it's important that people have the opportunity and the freedom to express themselves, and for the most part have done it very peaceably. And I do think that it must continue in order for the message to get out and to continue to be delivered to the world that Black lives do matter. And I really think that it's an opportunity for us at this point to do some great things here in Albany County. And every little thing I consider great. I mean, every job that everybody's doing to make sure that everybody's treated fairly is very important. And I too want to thank our clerk for taking the time out of her schedule to make sure that we have PPE to hand out to our community. I know a lot of people wouldn't say, well, that's not my job. You know, I want to let her know publicly that I too appreciate her efforts. Thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, Ms. McLaughlin. Mr. Fine.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want to echo what Mr. Epicoro, Ms. McLaughlin said, and I think Mr. Epicoro, I'm very happy you brought this issue up because it's something that we can't ignore. I just want to add, with the discussion around the country about reforming policing practices and about the money that's spent on policing in city, county, state budgets, I think we can't ignore that, and we really do as a county have to have serious discussions and take a serious look at our at the policing practices through the sheriff's department within our sheriff's office and the money that we spend on policing in our county, and have that discussion about how we can do our part to make sure that we have a fair and just system and that we're providing the resources needed to our communities, and not spending. We have to take a serious look at our budget because we spend a lot of money on law enforcement, and cities and counties around the country are shifting resources towards community resources. We need to see if we can do that as well. I think we should.
Thank you, Mr. Fine.
Mr. Chairman?
Who's that? Cleary?
Yep.
Please go ahead.
I just want to thank your whole staff. Nicole dropped off the stuff to me this weekend, and Mike Perrin did it before. So I just thank the whole staff for dropping off the mask and the gloves and the sanitizer.
Thank you for getting it out and keeping everyone safe.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Bergdorf.
I just want to go on record as saying that I think our sheriff, Craig Apple, is doing a phenomenal job in Albany County. And he is one of the most compassionate and professional law enforcement people that there is. And if there is any criticism of Sheriff Apple or how the county is protecting hundreds of thousands of people, there are many of us who believe that the sheriff is doing a phenomenal job. So I just want to go on record as saying that.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bergdorf. Ms. Willingham.
First of all, I would like to thank all of our staff that has continued to work during the pandemic. A lot of people, Javon Williams, I hate to start calling names, and Nicole Chambers, Nicole Antonucci, and Florell, and I'm just very proud of the way that they wanted to work. They work from home, and I know that Nicole has been in the office almost every day. So we continue to operate the way that we should have. And I'm very proud of that. And I just want to thank them too on behalf of the legislature. We realize that we have a lot of work ahead of us as we continue, not only from this pandemic, but also from the protests that are going on because of Mr. Floyd's murder. We realize that the protests had to happen, and I believe that there's a reason for it. And as it continues, we just hope that the message is not lost through people committing certain vandalism to take away from the real reasons behind the movement. And so as we begin to look at new ways to come against what we know has been systemic racism, we know throughout our lives, I just hope that the legislature will be receptive to different ways in which we are going to have to manage the budget, manage all of the policies that we have, and manage the departments that are responsible for over 300,000 people as far as Albany County is concerned. Thank you for the time.
Thank you, Ms. Willingham. Was there anyone else?
Yes, Andrew,
Mr. Ethier?
I just want to comment on what my colleague, Mr. Burdoff, said. I couldn't agree more heartily than what he had said about our sheriff. He's been doing an excellent job, and I think I want to second what Mr. Burdoff said. That's all I have to say.
Noted. Is there anyone else? Well, to that end, just to kind of echo and tie together the comments that were made, we're very fortunate on the legislature. We have Clay, Willingham, McLaughlin, Chapman, Simpson. They are living legends in this fight. Nobody has more experience and more respect in this discussion than these individuals. We're very lucky to have them on this body. I have said enough. I say enough year round, but I think it's time for me to be quiet and take their lead. And I'm interested to see in what terms of informing what we do as a legislature to respond what's going on in our country, because we do need to respond. So I think we're very fortunate to have this very special group, this caucus on our body to help guide us in terms of policy and how we look at the budget. And that's what's going to matter weeks and months and years to come. We're also fortunate to have Mr. Fine and Mr. Efficoro, young, energetic, ready to learn, ready to lead. So we're very lucky to have these folks, and I'm looking forward to see what we come out with and respond to show people that we are responding to this. So thank you.
This is Bill Clark. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Pleasure to serve with you. Okay, that's it for tonight's agenda, everyone. Before I accept the motion to adjourn, I want to thank each of you for participating tonight and the staff operating in the background to make this all so very easy. Please heed the advice of medical professionals and keep yourselves and your family safe, and may I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Peters, seconded by Mr. Clay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, good night, everyone. Be safe.
Good night.
Be safe.
Good night. Great job.